Best-selling author Robert T. Kiyosaki has built an empire of financial advice books. The titles of many of his popular books feature the words "Rich Dad." Kiyosaki, writing here with consultant and CPA Sharon L. Lecter, presents the lessons in those books in the form of a literary seesaw. He had two fathers. His real dad was educated but poor, and his second dad, his best friend's father, was self-made and rich. Both taught him life lessons that reflected their individual character and experience. One was a fearful loser and died owing money. The other was a self-made, bold winner, who left money to charities and to his family when he died. The two men's diametrically opposite attitudes, loser, winner, small-timer, major leaguer, scaredy cat, big bad wolf, provide the narrative journey that Kiyosaki travels to instruct readers about financial planning as he was instructed. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is sometimes a windy fable. Kiyosaki describes himself at different ages and presents what he claims are word-for-word versions of the initially baffling, but later profound, teaching moments both fathers provided. The rich dad talks in riddles and disguises his true intent. The young Kiyosaki finds this confusing until, after he makes mistakes that lead him to his true course, a blinding flash of revelation reveals his rich father's purpose. This narrative can get old fast, but Kiyosaki fills pages with it. He spends a lot of words recounting one of his early misunderstandings of the phrase, making money. But that's his nature, he's a hokey storyteller, and he pads his advice. However, Kiyosaki isn't a repeatedly best-selling author for nothing. His prose rips along, all short simple sentences and rhythmic punch lines. He writes page-turners. Each chapter functions as a single, standalone lesson that connects logically to the lesson that follows. You could read only one chapter and gain from applying its teachings. You can read the chapters out of order, depending on what you want to know. Kiyosaki understands that his readers will find some concepts easier to grasp than others. He keeps each chapter short and to the point. When he sets aside his pervasive two dads device, Kiyosaki delivers straightforward, worthwhile financial and life advice. He's not writing for those with sophisticated knowledge of the market. He's writing for low-income and middle-class workers who are trying to understand the complexities of their finances and potential investments so they can craft a secure financial framework. Kiyosaki teaches basic, necessary financial lessons, including 1. Money as a tool. In these passages, Kiyosaki doesn't speak in parables. He details what you should do with your money and why. He urges you to embrace a new, empowered mindset. He wants you to regard your money as a tool, whether you have a lot or a little. He doesn't despise the $100 investor. His book and his career exist to convince you, no matter how much money you have, that you have enough to make it work for you. He maintains that money isn't magical or disposable or the stuff you use to buy beer. Money is a fulcrum, a device that lets you lever the circumstances of your life into financial security if you understand and apply a few basic principles. 2. Buy assets. Kiyosaki illustrates the difference between an asset and a liability and urges you to buy assets, whatever they are, however small. If you can purchase an asset that might grow in value, buy it. Don't buy a new TV or car, don't buy a new suit or expensive dinner. Take that money, find something that you know will gain in value and acquire it before you spend your hard-earned coin on something that won't appreciate. Nothing else matters, buy assets and hold them until it's clearly time to sell them. Or, hold them until you can invest in an even more valuable asset. 3. Think beyond the surface of any business story or situation. You must read each of Kiyosaki's stories to its end to understand how to apply its lessons to your finances. The payoff reveals a conclusion you might not have reached on your own. Kiyosaki shows an unerring instinct for picking illustrative, thought-provoking yarns from the world of business. These stories further his theme of using your native intelligence to understand how money works. Most of them remind you to think beyond the surface of any business narrative or situation, because another, more revealing tale always waits beneath the headline. As you start looking for the hidden meaning, Kiyosaki says, you will begin to grasp new possibilities for the application and multiplication of your money. For example, Kiyosaki cites the tale of McDonald's founder Ray Kroc, who asks a group of business school grad students to tell him what business he's in. They say, as you likely would, hamburgers. No, Kroc tells them. He's in the real estate business. He sells franchises so franchisees will buy the land on which their McDonald's store sits. As a result, McDonald's owns some of the most valuable intersections and street corners in America and around the globe. 4. Make your money work for you instead of you working for your money. Kiyosaki urges independence of mind, profession and money. He regards day jobbers, especially lifelong day jobbers in corporate roles, as stuck. He has similar concerns about schooling and fears that studying a trade dooms you to working in that trade for life. He often says your money must work for you to earn more money. He cautions against trading your hours for cash unless you can invest and make it grow. 5. To be a have and not a have not, you should incorporate. Kiyosaki consistently espouses a sense of class awareness rare in today's financial authors. He wants you to understand that the haves seek to oppress the have-nots. To that end, he says, the haves rig the financial system to their benefit. Kiyosaki presents this situation not as a moral outrage, but as a basic fact of life that every investor must understand before investing. To this end, he urges you to incorporate. His chapter-long primer makes it plain that, at least in the United States, corporations enjoy enormous advantages in accounting, investing, understanding markets, tax advantages, and protection from lawsuits. 6. Adopt a few basic operating principles. Kiyosaki urges you to embrace, respect and nurture your own intelligence. He maintains that anyone can improve his or her financial situation by adopting a few basic operating principles, staying disciplined, accepting the opportunity to learn and being bold. The rules include: know the difference between an asset and a liability. Kiyosaki holds this tenet first and foremost: buy only income-generating assets. Incorporate to limit your risks. A corporation is a legal entity that protects the rich. Let it protect you too. Build your financial intelligence. Master 4 primary skills. 1. Understand financial numbers. 2. Learn investing strategies. 3. Figure out how to benefit from supply and demand. And 4. Know the laws governing your money and work within them. Heed the principle of reciprocity. Whatever you give comes back to you. If you want sales, help someone else sell something. Take a job that expands your field or teaches you about money. Any job you take just to get a paycheck will guarantee that you'll never gain financial freedom. Combining self-help advice. Many self-help books advocate similar themes, but this one is sincere and convincing. Kiyosaki never pretends that the world is easy or that miracles occur. His tone is folksy and conversational, but the structure of his argument is purposeful. His practical advice is so practical and stated so clearly that you may wonder why he bothers with all the two dad stories. One reason is that Two Dads is Kiyosaki's brand, the lure that brings readers to his advice. Another is that comparing the two dads is a literary device that renders the author's abundant common sense accessible and easy to accept. Maybe the most important reason is that without the dad stories, his books would each be 50 pages long. Even so, those 50 are more than worth the price of the other 200 or so. Few authors, best-selling or otherwise, tell you they're going to clarify complex ideas and then actually do it. Kiyosaki does.